It has been a good while since I reviewed the keyboard here on our channel as I switch my focus to camera gears and content creation niche, so if you're here for mechanical keyboard content, this video is for you. If not, well, you're still more than welcome to stay and maybe I can entice you to explore the deep mechanical keyboard hobby. With that said, what we have here is the new and upcoming Zoom75 TIGA custom mechanical keyboard from Meletrix. The Zoom75 TIGA features an easy to disassemble design thanks to its ball catch mechanism, making way for its 4 different mounting systems and a wide variety of sound dampening material options, including a very interesting Cork sandwich which in theory should provide a crispier sound signature. It also features an LCD by default with an option for a modular badge for a more discreet appearance, not to mention a dedicated volume wheel which is always appreciated. Now the Zoom75 TIGA has a lot more than that, so let's go ahead and explore everything it has to offer. Let's get into it. As always, honest disclaimer, this video is not paid, but Meletrix did provide an early review sample for me to experience. They will not see this video or my script prior to release and will see this at the same time as you do. With that out of the way, let me share with you all the things that came in with the package as well as the other options available when you order. It came with pretty much all the common plate options like aluminum, FR4, POM, and polycarbonate, but brass and carbon fiber plates are also available to order. Each has its own plastic protection. It also came with 3 sets of different foam dampeners, classic foam, pour-on foam, and the interesting Cork sandwich. Each set also came with its own sort of envelope. Aside from that, Meletrix also provided a couple of switches, the Wookiee Studio Light Tactile Switch and the Wookiee Studio POM Plus Linear Switch. They also sent a Wookiee Studio PBT Blue Oasis keycap set that should perfectly match the white variant that I have here. Now what I have here is the 1.6mm tri-mode non-flex cut RGB PCB, but a 1.2mm flex cut variant is also available to order. Aside from that, you can also order a rear expansion modular kit where you can mount artisan keycaps and Legos if you're into that. You can also order badges, external weight, grille, and dual wings accents in different colors and designs. The options available for the Zoom75 TIGA are borderline overwhelming as you can choose between all 15 colors available for the case, and 4 of them uses the acrystatic coating with glitter, including the white variant that we have here. Aside from that, you can choose between 11 external weights, 15 grille accents, 11 rear badges, 3 dual wings accent pieces, and a lot more. So yeah, a lot of things to consider when you order the Zoom75 TIGA. Now, aside from the switch, keycaps, and some of the plate and foam components, everything else came in this nice drawer type packaging. On top, we have the accessories, and at the bottom, we have the Zoom75 TIGA white case itself. Aside from the things that I've already mentioned, we also have a thick white cable, a couple of magnetic badges rear and top, a set of Wookiee Studio stupid stabilizers, a screwdriver, the 4 mounting options, and a couple of silicone bases for the daughter boards. More on this later. And lastly, we also have some of the mentioned foam dampeners here. As I pointed out earlier, we have 4 different mounting options here. The new elastic bar silicone mount, which provides a good balance between rigidity and elasticity. Then we have the split O-ring mount, which provides a flexible and softer typing experience. Then the silica gel particle mount that offers a muted and cushion typing feel. And the last one, the typical top mount for that classic stability and tactility. Now before we start building the Zoom75 TIGA, let's take a quick look around the PCB first. The first thing that strikes me the most is the dangling daughter boards, which while convenient, is honestly quite finicky. This PCB offers a lot of different configurations, which is definitely appreciated, with swappable sockets made by Kale, and like I said, a flex cut version is also available for this keyboard. As mentioned, this is tri-mode, so we have a USB dongle here, and the PCB also supports QMK and VIA, which is quite convenient compared to any proprietary software. Now before we take a look around the case, let's build this keyboard first so that you'll get a proper look at the finished product. The first thing that I did was, of course, lube the Wookiee Studio stupid stabilizers. This is actually my first time trying out these stabilizers, and I must say, the design is quite clever. It features a POM housing with TPU silicone inside to minimize friction with the wire and uses polycarbonate plastic for the stem. It also features an equally clever clip-in design to eliminate the need for screws. But the real good thing here is that they sound and feel great, as you'll hear later on our sound test. Now for this build, I decided to use the interesting Cork sandwich material with the pour-on case foam, the POM plate, and the split O-ring mount to hopefully achieve the softest typing experience possible for the Zoom75 TIGA. Now to make it worthwhile for users to really explore the different mounting options, Meletrix decided to adapt the ball catch mechanism to easily remove and attach the top casing, which I think is a good idea. We also have a good amount of silicone material around the case, essentially acting as a force break mod, which means even without the foam dampeners, pinging and other unwanted sounds should be minimal. Aside from that, we also have an internal weight that doubles as a protection for the two 4000 mAh batteries. Now, building the Zoom75 TIGA is pretty straightforward, and while it may look complicated by the amount of component it has, it's actually quite intuitive that I think even beginners can easily follow. First, install the switch pad, then install and secure the stabilizers, and make sure that it's flush on the PCB, because if not, you're going to have a bad day. Trust me. The Wookiee Studio stupid stabilizers came in with a small plastic fastener that secures the stabilizers on the PCB. After that, install the case foam, and in this case, the Poron foam is fairly challenging as it's quite sticky, which is actually a good thing to maintain its position over time. Then add the plate foam and the plate on top of that. Again, we're using the Cork material and the foam plate here. After that, I installed the switches and the keycaps. I decided to use the Wookiee Studio POM Plus switches here because I prefer linear over tactile switches. Next, we need to install the split O-ring mount. First, we have to install the platform where the O-ring will sit flush later. Then we have to install the O-rings around the PCB, which as you can tell, act as a sort of rubber band for maximum flexibility. While we're here, let me quickly show you how to mount the other mounting options. So here's the elastic bar silicone mount. You have to install it on the PCB as well, while the silica gel particle should be mounted on the plate like so. I didn't bother with the top mount, especially since you need to fiddle with the pogo pins when using the top mount, and ain't nobody have time for that. Just kidding. After installing the mounting option that you chose, you have to install the silicone base for the dangling daughter boards. Now, it's just a matter of putting them all together on the case. As you can tell, the daughter board on the PCB is magnetic and quickly attaches to the daughter board on the bottom case. Next, make sure to set the daughter boards on their respective silicone base like so. As you can tell, even without using the flex cut version of the PCB, with the POM plate and split O-ring mount, it's super bouncy and flexible. And with the ball catch mechanism, installing and removing the top case is super easy. So exploring the different mounting options and different foam dampener materials should be pretty easy with the Zoom75 TIGA. Now, after installing the keycaps, our build is finally finished. But before I share with you the rest of my thoughts, here's a quick sound test for you guys. The Zoom75 TIGA was actually inspired by the Ultraman TIGA series, and you can find that resemblance at the back of the keyboard with the replaceable dual wing accents. Looking around here at the back, aside from the dual wing accents, you can also see the contrast between the white and light blue colorway of this keyboard with a magnetic and replaceable badge at the center, and below that, we have the USB Type-C port. Looking at the left side, we have a 6.5-degree typing angle with a nice subtle design element that allows some of the bottom case to give some accent color on the side. On the other side, we have the module for the volume wheel that also acts as an additional accent piece. Speaking of the volume wheel, it has a good amount of friction. As I pointed out earlier, this white variant is one of the 4 color options that feature Accustatic. Accustatic is an electrostatic spray technology that allows for vibrant colors and color consistency. In the real world, it provides a nice textured and glittery finish. Now, flipping it all over at the bottom, we have 4 rubber feet, a thin external weight, and a grill on top of that, both of which, like I mentioned earlier, are replaceable with other colors. Speaking of replaceable, aside from the rear badge, external weight, and grill, you can also replace the default LCD with a magnetic badge, and you can even get some novelty badge for that. Overall, the Zoom75 TIGA offers a lot of flexibility, not just in terms of build configurations, but also in terms of design. And the fact that they've come up with a design that allows users to take advantage of all those options without overthinking is a nice touch. I like the fact that this keyboard looks good, sounds good, and performs really well. I didn't encounter any issues with its wireless stability, even for competitive gaming. In addition, the Wookiee Studio Stupid stabilizers are also easily one of the best stabilizers I've ever used. However, while the display is functional and helpful for basic things like date and time, connection mode, and battery life, in its current state, a lot of its features are not functional just yet, including the features inside the Pocket Wookiee app. But to be fair, they've already acknowledged that and are currently working on it, so yeah. I find the built-in key tester quite nifty though, which is definitely a plus. Lastly, I know some of you are going to ask about the longevity and safety of the Cork material, so I went ahead and asked Meletrix about that. Meletrix claims that Cork does not create static electricity and that it is a poor conductor material. They also said that it's easy to clean and is naturally resistant to water and moisture, though it can still absorb liquid in certain situations, like if you spill liquid on it. Common sense. And in terms of breakdown or disintegration for long-term use, they said they added a layer of gauze to prevent that. But yeah, I guess we just have to wait and see if these are all true in the future. And there you have it guys, thank you for watching. Huge thanks to Meletrix for sending this in and for giving me the chance to experience the Zoom75 TIGA. The group buy started last November 4 to November 18, 2024. I'll put some links below if you're interested. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you appreciate this video, and see you next time. Have a great day guys, you're awesome.